Hi everyone. I've had a question within Positively Us, my private membership group, about quadrants. And I dove into that in a little more detail and talked there about why it is that I don't teach about quadrants very much or spend much of my life thinking about quadrants. And I thought it was worth dipping into here as well for 2 Minute Tuesday. So the quadrants being positive and negative punishment, positive and negative reinforcement, right? So this is learning theory. This is a human framework that we put on a way to view the way that earthlings, that animals, that all species act upon our environment. So it's learning by consequence. It's a way that we can slice up and examine the process of learning. Now, learning theory is a theory in as much as gravity is a theory, right? So that's what we're talking about. And what I see, particularly on social media, is people getting into endless debates and often putting themselves in sort of moral positions about positive versus negative reinforcement, for example, and what's okay and what's not, and what they think other people are doing and what they think they're doing, and is this particular thing, is this positive reinforcement or is it negative reinforcement? Or is it punishment? And there's these endless circular debates, and what people often miss is that we don't reinforce or punish an animal. We reinforce or we punish a behaviour. So, you might say, let's say you see someone at your barn and they are trying to train their horse to stay, to park, and they're doing it by, wiggling the rope every time the horse takes a step forward, and the clip smacks them under the chin if they do it hard enough. Now, is that negative reinforcement or is it positive punishment? And you can get into this endless debate, and I just see it all the time. The answer to it is always, if you find yourself wondering about this, because it is important in the early days to have an understanding of this framework, and so that we can look at behaviour with objective eyes, and we can see how what we're doing and what the environment is doing is impacting on the behaviour of our animal learners. But if you find yourself in one of these debates or wondering which quadrant it all falls into, you must remember that we don't reinforce the animal, we reinforce the behaviour. So if we're talking, we need to define the behaviour first. So in the case of our horse, which is being taught to stay, this barn mate of ours, who clearly isn't a clicker trainer, are we talking about the behaviour of standing still? In which case it's being negatively reinforced. Are we talking about the behaviour of breaking that park and creeping forward towards the human? In which case it's being positively punished because the aversive is being applied and the behaviour of stepping forward is decreasing. If the behaviour of parking and staying is increasing as a result of removing that aversive of the wiggling rope, then it's negative reinforcement. So we're not reinforcing or punishing the horse, we're reinforcing or we're punishing the behaviour. And we can't answer these questions until, first of all, we define what behaviour we're talking about, and second of all, we wait and see whether in fact the behaviour does increase or decrease, and only then do we know whether we've actually applied a reinforcer or a punisher. So I'm going over my 2 minutes, and I do that very occasionally when it's a topic that deserves to be delved into a little deeper. And because this is such a repeating, it just feels like Groundhog Day to me so often when I go into the Facebook groups. And I understand it's people's learning process, I'm not judging that, but I personally find that we get really wound up in trying to fit things into boxes. And while, look, we want to use these frameworks while they're useful to us. And when it starts devolving into a moral argument or, just circular debate, then I begin to wonder whether it's actually useful and whether we should just go outside and train our horse. If we ask our horse what they think, that's always a good way to go. Am I applying an aversive? Am I doing something to my horse which he doesn't like and he wants to escape it? Or is he showing me a really happy, open, seeking, enthusiastic, eager learning state of mind? And just go with that. Am I seeing more of the behaviour or am I seeing less of it? Rather than sitting behind our keyboards and debating which slot each behaviour fits into. So always happy to delve more into this topic because it is something which comes up over and over and over again. It's something, the learning quadrants are something that I think should be talked about and understood early on in our journey so that we can no longer have to think about them, so that we can stop talking about them and go out and actually train. That's my view. Let me know in the comments what you think about that.